50 things that you forgot existed in Fortnite. Today we're reacting to Top 5 Gaming's video, and I want to see how many that I actually forgot. So I've got a counter here, and I'm going to count every time I completely forgot about this item. Play along too as well, but don't forget to subscribe for Top 5 Gaming for the original video. Let's dive in.
Double jump was an old feature in Fortnite removed after only 2 months. Kind of forgot it even existed. I mean, who remembers
Loki might have got me already, but we're gonna wait for the official list.
spawning a pirate ship?
Don't forget that.
In Fortnite you forgot. I'm not great at quizzes, but crafting alien guns, now that I remember. The nanites were fun to throw down.
I do remember
an
this.
Anti-gravity field, but they did have a secret ability. By opening the crafting menu,
you
could
craft
make a
like the
nanite
hyper
with a
gun, yeah, the
regular
railgun,
weapon
yeah.
and turning it into an alien gun. Yeah,
Hey, Loki kind of sucked
to
though.
a ray gun, or if you had a sniper, you would get yourself a railgun. Chapter 2 has an insane amount of forgotten content. The Spy Games LTM might ring a bell, but a ton of people don't realize it had exclusive perks.
Yeah.
After choosing loadouts, you
there was
would
some
get a
pretty
different
cool
piece
stuff
of
you could
tech,
do with it, but
whether
no
it
one
was the
liked
ability
watching
to
it.
double jump or running faster with your pickaxe.
That's
out,
where the
or
double jump
one
is from.
of them even force you to dance after getting a kill. Now, only hardcore veterans will remember the OG Christmas supply drops. These are over 6 years old and were basically just
Musoke's
into
video.
a present. Except Fortnite messed up letting us hide
Yeah.
inside of them, with creators like Musoke and Lachlan getting wins
Hey,
for
we got a
this.
shout out. Let's go.
Hey, bro.
That's a clean 200 from
So
Elliot,
you
though.
definitely won't remember the bunker chest.
Nah, I remember that. You ain't got me yet. Top 5, you ain't got me
It
yet.
had week 7 written on top. Nobody knew what this meant or why they were here, but for some reason, they gave insane loot, guaranteeing you an epic or a legendary item. One
Yeah.
of the strangest items could only
There was
be
one
found
under that
if you were
Pleasant
abducted.
House.
This was the alien knock gun, and was supposed to be exclusive to the mothership until a glitch let you respawn with it using it as the troll players. Now, it had 0 damage, but let's be honest.
I remember
blocking
doing this
people off
bug.
the builds is dangerous enough.
He might try to box me, honestly. I almost knocked him out. I think I'm on my way.
I think they had low grab, right? No, they didn't have low
Speaking
grab.
of knockback,
But I
the
do remember
Shockwave
it.
LTM went totally under the radar. They basically made Smash Bros. In Fortnite.
Yeah, I
Instead
remember
of a
playing
health
this.
bar, you would have a percentage, and every time you were hit, it would go up. The higher percentage you have, the further you'd fly into the storm. It was this insanely cool mode that no one ever talks about anymore.
Yeah.
But I do remember the most useless chest in Fortnite history. These cosmic
spinning one,
chests
yep.
were trapped inside
Yeah.
a crystal and look cool at first, until you realize you needed to
It
take
looked good
turns
on a
hitting
thumbnail,
them.
though, to be
Your
fair.
entire squad had to be here, making them more of an inconvenience.
It's a lot of
than
Chapter 2
anything,
footage
and it
where a lot of
wasn't
this is
even
coming
worth
out.
the loot. Now, if you've been playing from the very beginning,
There won't be
you probably
anything in
recall
Chapter
that
1 I don't
heels were
remember.
very
Even the
different.
cache, I
Now
remember the
they've been
cache.
redesigned, but
I reckon the
back then
cache
they
is
were
in here.
gray. Yeah, there was a point where medkits and shield pots had the same.
I only know
rarity
this
as
because I
bandages.
reacted to the
An
first
actual
video,
rare
or the
item
first
was
victory
hiding
out of
inside
the
a
day,
cabinet
and
at
it
Weeping
literally had
Woods.
that.
We had no idea why, but you could destroy a painting and it would give you a gold coin.
Okay.
There was no use for this at all. It was a total accident.
Okay, he's
Yet
got me
anyone
for
who
one.
found this could brag
He's
about
got
it
me for
forever.
one.
One
Don't
of the
remember
most
the gold
underrated
coin.
Secrets was an exclusive Star Wars item that could only be found in an LTM. During Mando's Bounty, this was Fortnite's updated version of the John Wick mode from Chapter 1.
Yep.
Except this time around, they released an item called the Bounty Puck, which displayed your targets and how much they were worth. You can
Yeah.
even find these hollow pucks all the way from common to legendary, and I totally forgot about this. Now,
I don't
throughout
remember
the
them
years,
being-
we've had a lot
having
of portable
rarities.
items, from
So I'll
Porta
count that.
Fort
I don't
to
remember them
Porta
having
Bunker,
rarities.
But no one talks about a forgotten version, the Porta Challenge. This could only be used in the playground mode. You would
No,
find
yeah,
a
I
ton of
remember this.
vending
Yeah,
machines
yeah.
offering different versions, and once you threw them down, they'd spawn in a mini game. Whether it was an
Yeah.
obstacle course, a firing range, or a building challenge, this was a fun way to mess around before creative mode ever existed. I also wish I knew about the boogie boat. During the flood season, everything was underwater, so naturally the coolest POI was floating on the surface. You'd find a nightclub in the middle, letting you bust moves on the dance floor, along with some beds and plenty of loot. While this was a fun spot to chill out and mess around with friends, most people don't know about it because this vanished after a couple weeks.
No, I
And
do
can't
remember
believe how
letting it
Fortnite
that.
used to punish us for jumping off
Wow,
roofs.
OGTG
Even
footage.
The smallest distance would give you fall damage back in the day. Literally walking down a tiny cliff would hurt. It was ridiculous. I'm not surprised Epic
Yeah.
quickly changed this, but it also means most people forgot about it. We will always remember Risky Reels, a POI that seems to constantly come back.
Yeah.
That gets destroyed a ton, and one time it was flattened by the block, fully wiping it out. Most players know this story, but what they don't know is that Risky wasn't fully gone. Hiding in the jungle, fans could visit a tiny POI that was a makeshift tribute, kind of like a home cinema.
Yeah,
Some
I
facts
kinda
about
forget
OG
that.
Fortnite make
I'll
you
go
question
3.
reality though. Turns out the storm never existed on the mini-map in the early days. You're probably thinking back like, no, it definitely did. did, but this must be some kind of Mandela effect. It was actually just a blue circle,
I
so
mean,
no wonder it crept up on us so
the blue
easily.
circle kind of like
you
is
will know
that.
about the most annoying feature in Chapter 1. You'd hear a chest in the distance, break walls to find it, only to realize you can't hear it anymore. Turns out we would break the floor under the chest, deleting it from the map. It was insanely annoying, causing players to beg Epic for a
I'm
fix.
even 4 for that. I don't remember that.
Chest. We definitely take
Yeah,
this
that
for
was one of the
granted,
best
knowing what
updates
it
they
used
made.
to be
Such a
like.
good quality
You
of
also
life
probably
update.
know about Tuna Fish. It was a popular outfit during Chapter 2 and let you customize fish stick with all kinds of designs. The reason I'm bringing him up is because of a lesser known feature, rainbowing. Looking back, most of us just assumed we did challenges to get more styles, but we actually needed to find physical ink. You had
Yeah.
to open as many chests as possible, and as you collected this ink, you could spend it on the styles you wanted, but only
It was
if you
low-key
completed
like
the
one of the
challenge or
coolest
collected a
ones
color
they've done
bottle.
yet.
These are so complicated. It was
Yeah, you had to
easy
get the
forget
actual,
them.
like,
But
jars
I
as
wish
well.
we still had this feature from Chapter 1. Back in the day, when you landed with momentum, you could spam the jump
Bunny
button
hopping.
and
Oh,
keep
I was so
bouncing.
mad when they got rid of bunny
around the
hopping.
map
Bunny
as long
hopping
as
was
you
one of
wanted.
the
It was
best
probably the
features in
most fun way to
Fortnite.
get around we have ever had.
I blame
Sadly,
Tfue because
they
that
nerfed
clip
this
went
and it
so
hit
viral.
nothing.
Fortnite like, now we
Another
need
way
to get
to
rid of
cheese
this.
the game was hiding
It's gonna
inside
go
a rare
anyway, let's be
LTM.
honest.
In 2018, you could play Love Shot to celebrate Valentine's Day, giving you low gravity, boogie bombs, and a new item, Cupid's crossbow. This was an exclusive redesign of the crossbow.
The sky bases
but
were
the rules
overpowered,
of this
right?
LTM meant that sky basing
Yeah.
guaranteed a
See,
win.
I don't forget
As
many
Valentine's Day
things.
passed, this LTM was removed and never came back. Cupid's crossbow has made appearances over the years, but no one remembers that it belonged to this long-lost mode. And we probably learned about it from
No,
the
it
old
belonged to
newsfeed.
when it came out
In
the
modern
first
day
time,
Fortnite,
didn't it?
You can expect to see a full-screen message of the day that is impossible to ignore. For more details, we have to search up the patch notes online, and even then, they don't mention everything. But back in Chapter 1, this small menu would give us all the info we needed. If only it told us about the secret Halloween pretzel. For a couple of Fortnite Mares events, we could find candy around
gave
the
you
map.
0 point,
Most
right?
people remember this, eating hop drops, jelly beans, you name it. One that was harder to find was the 0 point pretzel. This would let you dash around the map, teleporting with the power of candy, but it hasn't returned since 2021. Once again,
Yeah, I mean, they
most of us
got
know
like
about the old
50
Ghost
different
and Shadow
things that give you
henchmen.
0
You
point.
can shake them down for info, or use a phone booth to disguise as them. What players don't remember are the exclusive chests with great loot. By carrying a henchman
I
over
remember
your
that.
shoulder, you would unlock these by holding
I remember
the
that.
bullseye
You get the heavy
right
sniper
after
out of
the
that,
scanner.
and
Now,
yeah,
a
that's
lot of the
it.
things
That's
on this
huge.
list have been forgotten over time, but some of them were as recent as Chapter 5. They were just too hidden for anyone to notice.
Okay.
Medallions originally had a 3D icon in your inventory. It looked super unique and stood out, but after just 2 weeks, Fortnite changed this. Now they're all flat 2D images. I won't lie, they definitely look cleaner and easier to see now, but
I do remember
the
that.
3D angle, it was pretty cool. Let's take it back to Chapter 2, where
Oh,
they designed
I
a
remember
melee
this.
weapon with entire stats, a full move set, and inventory slot. There's only one catch though, it was unobtainable. This is the Predator Claw, a legendary item that no one knew about because, well, the Predator was the only one who could use it. He never dropped the item, it wasn't in the loot pool, and they straight up designed this just for an NPC.
Oh,
Which
wow.
reminds me of
All
another
right, I'll give you
exclusive
5 for
can
that.
only be
I
found
thought we were
during
just
a
talking about the
concert.
Invis
The Kid
thing.
Leroy's music experience wasn't a full live event. They designed this in creative
Yeah, it was a
mode,
creative
so no
mode,
one
yeah.
remembers the custom weapon we used. Near the end of the concert, we had to fight off a huge wolf, and our tool for this battle, a sunburst gauntlet. Speaking of unique items, during Chapter 3, there was a special consumable
like I
that
did
only
forget it,
existed
so
for
like
the
I'll
summer
give you
event.
6.
They decided to cool us all down with some ice cream, and there was a lot to choose from, whether it was frozen,
Golden ice cream.
spicy, guzzling, or my personal favorite,
Hey, it's
Lil
me.
Whip Special Serve. You can find these from coolers and get unique abilities. Lil Whips is sold from the man himself, and it was literally an instant chug jug. They totally should have kept this in the game. From limited time items to limited time modes, there are a few over the years that no one remembers because they were pickaxe themed. As you can probably guess from the name, Pickaxe Frenzy was a regular game of Battle Royale, but with no guns. You could only hit each other with
It was my game mode.
harvesting tools and rusty cannons. Sure, you could get around with mobility items, but it was super unique and players loved it. The same goes for the Tag LTM.
I didn't forget that one, but I think you forgot that it was my game mode, top 5 gaming. Yeah, side fun fact for it. The reason everyone had full tilt in their emote wheel was because at the time it was the fastest pay to win emote. And so I said that the game mode can't have pay to win, because technically if you had full tilt, you would have pay to win in that game mode because you could move faster than anyone else while healing. So that's why they had full tilt in everyone's emote locker when you played the game mode. Fun fact.
This time it was playable in Fortnite.
Hey, we got
letting you
another
tag
one.
Players with pickaxes,
Oh, the tag
escape
game
enemies
mode.
with impulses, and mess around with friends for only a couple days. I mean, that sucks.
Yeah.
Forgotten modes are one thing, but it's
I
easy
remember
to
all
lose
of them.
track of all the exotics in Fortnite. I mean, we've had a lot of them over the years, and chances are you don't remember the Nighthawk. This only appeared
No,
for
it
a
was
couple of
a
seasons,
thermal
and at
pistol.
first
It was-
glance,
it's
it's
kinda
really
bad.
similar to the scope revolver.
But it did get
except
just
this
lost.
has a clean matte black
It never
design
came
and
back.
a thermal scope. It wasn't
was
forgettable
so
just
zoomed
because
out,
no
though.
one used it. It was also really hard to find, only available to buy from the Man Cake NPC. There was also the Big Chill, an item that looks like a snowball
Big
launcher that
Chill!
fired chiller grenades instead. So yeah, you could deal knockback and cause icy feet, which sounds cool, yet it was so much worse than a regular snowball launcher.
Yeah.
This was an exotic weapon that dealt 0 damage, with barely anyone spending their gold on this. I wonder why. Instead, they would use items like the Storm Scout sniper rifle, probably one of the most underrated snipers we have ever had.
Yeah.
Aiming down the sights, it would reveal the next storm circle. There was even an exotic version of this in Chapter 2, and yet only YouTubers talk about it. Just like how they forgot about the Burst Pulse Rifle. And yeah, on the surface,
we
you're
didn't
like,
forget
I
about
remember
that.
this. They were everywhere in the Alien season.
Didn't you get it in the
but
Carl
that was
place?
The normal
Yeah.
Pulse Rifle.
See,
this
we don't
version
forget,
was an
chat.
exotic that could only be found from the Chimera NPC or a malfunctioning vending machine. It was vaulted after just 1 week, and with it being hidden behind an NPC's paywall, no one even realized. Honestly, it's even harder to notice that fish are gone. There have been tons of consumables in the water that players don't remember.
the spicy
Most
fish?
of them look weird, like the steak
Oh,
flopper that was
yeah.
based on the ugliest creature
And
in the
the
ocean,
ink one, the
blobfish.
squid.
We also had hot floppers
The
that gave us an
cuttlefish.
anti-gravity effect, and shadow ones turning us into a ghost.
Oh, and the riff one,
A lot of
too.
People prefer the 0-point fish, letting us blink around, or even the riff version that gave
Yeah.
an instant rotation. Epic's really got to bring some of these back. Catching
Yeah,
anything
the-
from the water right now.
Hey, he
it's
didn't
just
mention-
boring. We already talked about alien nanites, but an earlier
didn't mention
version of
the
these
squid.
were nuts and bolts.
Interesting.
After the primal season, you could open up toolboxes
Maybe
and
you
get a
forgot.
lot of them. These were the new way to craft things, but in reality, all they would do is cycle.
Man,
your
crafting
weapon.
was
The way
such
you
an
swap
L
out attack
feature.
into a lever, or your heavy AR to a burst.
We do
which
not miss
basically
that. We
felt
do
like
not
a
miss that, chat.
downgrade. No one ever used this feature as a result, and it was doomed to obscurity.
Yeah.
Just like the Hunter's Cloak, an item that tried to be unique and ended up being useless.
This was weird.
With meat and bones, you could craft this, and it
Yeah.
would make all wildlife ignore you. Two major problems, though. Firstly, you could just ignore them and basically get the same effect.
Yeah.
And secondly, it took up an inventory slot, the ultimate downfall of this item. Some features just don't belong in Battle Royale, like the Propifier. This was one of those items from Invasion that went super under the radar. Players
Yeah.
were distracted by railguns, inflatables,
Oh, I
recon
forgot the
scanners.
llamas
The
used to, like,
Propgun
run
wasn't
around.
added until the final weeks of the season, and even then, it only let you choose from a small range of items to disguise as. This group of props,
Yeah, we didn't
well,
get-
let's just say it was the most obvious ways to hide, and every so often your character would glitch, showing everyone else where you were.
Yeah,
At
you
least we
didn't
got
get to
use
really
it, though,
utilize it.
unlike the annual pass. This was a prototype subscription service that would have given us every battle pass in a year, along with exclusive outfits, Astra,
Yeah, the
Bash,
Brilliant
and
Bomber.
an unreleased character, Brilliant Bomber. When this was leaked, players went crazy for it, even hacking into their accounts. To this day, only a handful of people have seen this outfit, and she has been forgotten for years, except recently when a Lego style was spotted in the files. Maybe she'll finally release soon. Probably.
Yeah, she's still, okay, this video was a year ago, still not out, but Mal actually, when we did the Chapter 7 launch event, they had a few skins on the accounts, like all the icons and stuff, but they also had Brilliant Bomber on there as well. Mal got gameplay with it, but his gameplay looks like this. This is what his gameplay looked like he recorded it all like this, but I guess this is technically the last time it got seen, because I heard the people that actually got the skin got banned, but the skin is still not out, but maybe the fact that it was able to be played in the Chapter 7 event, maybe it's coming out Chapter 7, who knows.
But we are happy to know the old inventory is gone. If you played Fortnite in its true infancy, you'll know about those clunky menus and how hard it was to look at your items.
On controller
But
must
no
have been
one
a
talks about
nightmare.
the biggest issue, the old weapon stat screen. When you looked at a gun, it would dump every piece of info at you, even things that weren't in the game like durability. Now look, Epic, you don't have to tell us that a great pistol has 0%
I'll give you one for that.
critical hit. We
But I
know.
do not remember
a change
that.
that totally went over our heads includes the thermal scoped AR. You know how the gun looks like this? Well, if I showed you what it looked like in Chapter 1, it's really subtle. Most people never realized it was changed until you put them side by side. You can totally see it now. In fact, the scoped AR was one
I'll
of the
give
many
you that
items we
one.
could
I'll
summon
give
at
you
the end of
that.
Chapter
I'll give you
2,
that.
All thanks to JB Chimpanski's funding stations.
I remember
you might
this.
remember these as we used them to unlock
remember
new
Fresh.
weapons every week.
Fresh,
But
there was a
were
big
hidden
war with
features
Fresh
that
and wanting
everyone
boogie
forgot
bombs,
about.
and Ninja
Let
was
us
like, "Who's
find
voting
them.
boogie
Turrets,
bombs?"
Shockwave launchers, even a remake of the Brutes.
Like,
For a real
Ninja's getting
explosion,
triggered.
We could enjoy the propane tanks and the
Fresh is like,
Spices.
"No, we need
Because
the
gas
boogies."
cans were
Or
all
was the
over
other way
map,
around? I
no
don't
one ever
know.
picked these up or noticed them, but they were a good alternative.
Yeah, I do remember these. There's so many bugs you could do with them.
Start fires.
These little
Recently,
jaws.
we had an item that not many remember, even though it was around less than a year ago. At the end of Chapter 4, we had the tactical DMR. Normally, this would be
Yeah.
memorable, but it was during a season where DMRs were a dime a dozen. You can find all kinds of
Yeah,
them,
there was like
regular
4
DMRs,
different ones.
Cobras, Cobras, thermals, it was ridiculous. And the tactical version ironically missed the mark. So when I was looking back at the many years of Fortnite, I saw footage of crows from Chapter 2, and it kind of blew my mind. I had totally forgot these were a thing. You can see them from miles away. These birds would usually glow a rare color.
Oh, the glowing birds. Yeah.
There was even the almighty legendary crow. If you play a lot of creative, you'll know they have exclusive swords and melee items that are actually customizable. But back in Chapter 2, these were still in the works, and Fortnite accidentally released an early version of this sword into the files. Thanks to glitches involving vending machines, people could get the creative sword, and it worked exactly like an infinity blade for some reason. It was also huge and bulky, but with how rare this was and the fact it was exclusive to creative, only hardcore players will know about it.
I actually do remember that.
Even less people get to own Indigo Kuno. This was an exclusive version
they
of
gotta bring this back,
that
PlayStation.
could only be unlocked in a PlayStation Cup. You had to earn this on a PS4, PS5, and only 6,000 players were given the skin. Barely anyone knew about it for a while, but anyone who gets told about the Indigo Kuno immediately wants it for how rare this is. We have completed 50 things.
That's definitely one of the rare skins. 8 is the amount that I forgot. Let me know yours in the comment down below. I think 8. There's maybe like 7 or 8, not 6, 7. Shout out top 5 for the reaction video. Let me know how many you forgot in the comments down below.